doing something, but it's not fixing it.
Is it this one?
No.
This one?
No.
This one?
No.
This one?
No, I'm not hearing a thing.
This one?
No.
This one?
Hang on. Say that again. No.
This one?
That one, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
I can hear you fiddling with it, but it's not working.
Yeah.
We heard that when you took it out.
Yeah. Is it working though?
No. No. I can hear you jiggling, but it's not working. That's whatever you're doing, it comes and it goes.
Okay.
You can hear that it wants to come in, but then it goes. Yep. Yep. That was better then for a sec, but it's gone again. How about I just use the other one?
Yeah, use the other one.
There's always a combo that makes it work. Just pop the headset on Murray so we can
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
it. Just get it, find the secret spot where it works, and then... Yeah, we are live.
Hello. 1, 2, hello. Hello, hello, hello.
That one's muted,
Right.
but I can just as easily put the
I can hear you, but I
Say it
can't.
again?
Well, I can hear you guys.
Yeah, I've just got to unmute
But I
that.
can't hit myself.
That's it.
Hello. Hello. Can you say stuff?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, so just put the headset on, make sure it's still working. Still got audio? Still have audio?
Hello, hello, hello. Yep.
Yep, okay. Alright, ready to start? Yep. Yep.
Get 2 more seconds.
Slightly different volumes. Oh, no, Simon, mount the shotgun to your camera, please. Shotgun lines on the camera. So that you can hear what you're pointing at. No, mount it to your camera. Just do it. Yeah, but you can use tape.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome down to this Bowls of Say live stream down at Marion Bowling Club for the Men's Country Carnival Finals Day. This morning we've got the singles and the pairs going, the fours to come later today. I'm Isaac Trenorden from Bowls of Say. I'm joined here with Chuck Haslett. Welcome, mate.
G'day, Isaac. How are you? What a lovely day.
It certainly is. Weather has been brilliant all week. We've got another jam-packed week, hopefully with good weather. A little bit of rain maybe for Wednesday night, but we'll see how that pans out.
Well, a little bit of rain would be nice, but not if it's going to spoil everything for everyone else. But, yeah, a lot of rain up north, and there's people that... Beautiful thing about South Australia is that it's such a big state. There's people that get rain, there's people that don't get rain, and there's people that need it, and there's people that don't need it. But it never works out always the way that we need it. But really looking forward to a good semi-final to start with, and it's up and about, and we've started already, Isaac. And I haven't played much bowls this year, I've got to be honest, but the standard already. with only the warm-up being done, looks very, very high, as it would be for semi-finals for Country Carnival.
That's it, mate, that's it. So they've had an up and back, 4 bowls one way, 4 bowls the next. In this matchup, got David Machin up against Andrew Stasinowsky. In the other single semi-final, Garen Jenke versus Fergus Roundtree. They are an end and a half in front of us, so we'll make sure to keep you up to date with that. And we also have the pairs going on a couple rinks over again. Alistair Keller and Brenton Badenoch up against Brenton Sinclair and Derek Vanderzon. And the other pairs semi, Dave Benny and Mark Wrigley against Eric Pitt and Ian Williams. So amongst those 3 other games, we'll try and keep you as up to date as we possibly can.
I can tell you, Isaac, it doesn't happen very often, but Jenke after one end is 4-0 up. He got a 4 to start with, so... that's a bit of a highlight as far as the semi-finals concerned with Jenke and Roundtree, but obviously first end.
That's it. Jenke made the final last year, Chook, if you recall.
Yes.
He commentated that one.
Yes, certainly did. And the other finalist is playing in the pairs, I believe, as we speak. Wrigley, is that right? How good's my memory?
Yep, bang on.
Yep.
As he just puts down the shot. So David Machin plays for Mount Barker, and Andrew Stasinowsky, which no doubt for everyone on the stream will very likely call him Stas, probably more commonly known as Stas amongst the bowling world. Just this year gone back to Murray Bridge, so spent a few years most recently at Millswood.
Speaking of Millswood, of course, the umpire, not sure who the gentleman is umpiring, but he's wearing a Millswood top.
That's true. Chris Jackson.
There he is.
His name.
Yeah.
Does a lot of umpiring and marking for us at all of our events, so it was only fair to get him on. Stasinowsky going to get off to a good start.
Yeah, he probably nudged it back.
No jack. He was nearly a 4 to get the ball going. End one, but just touches the jack. We'll collect at least 1 shot. Very cool, calm, collected character, Andrew Stasinowsky. So collects 1 to get himself on the board.
Yep. No need for a measure.
A little bit stiff, to be honest, Chook,
yes.
But you probably take a fair bit of confidence away from that first end.
When you take the jack back and stay pretty close to it, you think happy days, but in that particular occasion, probably cost him a shot or 2, I would think.
Yes.
But early days, obviously the first end down and 1-0, and he takes the mat and says, "Rightio, this is where I want the kitty each day, each time." The forehand coming down. Temperature is expected to be around 32, 33 degrees throughout the afternoon, Isaac. So we're looking, geez, good start again. But gee, the bowling greens are running beautifully. It's an absolute picture here at Marion.
That's it. Not huge. A little breeze here, but not your typical Marion afternoon wind that we would normally get. That'll no doubt come.
Nice little crowd gathering here too. So if you're anywhere near the area, if you we obviously want you to watch the live stream, but we also, if you can get down here to Marion and support the bowlers, it's going to be a good day.
That's it. Anyone playing round robin country round robin this week, feel free to come down to the club. Greens are open after lunch. Get your practice in early. Stasinowsky off to a ripping start.
David's coming the forehand again. Looks like he's just struggling with the weight as far as that one's concerned. No, actually the weight's spot on. Just cut away. Currently 2. Stasinowsky. You're talking about most people know him as Stazza or Staz. It's a lot easier for us to pronounce too. So we might go with Staz throughout the whole game. But gee, once again, lovely bowls. That gives him 3 on the button.
It'd be interesting what David opts for here. He's played 2 with really good weight, just hasn't quite found the line yet.
How's your own form, Isaac? Sorry to cut in. How's your own form, mate?
No good, mate.
Isn't it? What's
as long
going
as
on?
the little sticker's on the inside, then we're happy. David just pokes his own through. I think he'd be pretty happy with that, to be honest. Gets one past the jack, at least. Gives him a little bit of opportunity if he wanted to, just arrive again. Try and sit a bowl or trail the jack. Staz might be doing this first.
Yeah, well bowled. Made Machin's bowl roll forward, falling over, so it's probably still 2, you would think, for Staz.
And it's a tough one for Machin here. Can't play weight, can't afford to lose his own. Would drop a 4, potentially 3 at least. If he didn't get any of Staz's bowls out. Speed was all time. Just didn't turn enough.
For those people watching that don't play much bowls, Isaac, how long does it take for a good quality bowler like David and Andrew to get used to the green, to get used to pace and get used to the run of the green?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, look, they've been playing bowls all week. Like I'm relatively confident that they all played the 4s and the pairs. If not, most of the people, at least on the green today, played the 4s and the pairs. So they should be in pretty good touch. So realistically, mate, I reckon they get their up and back. They get 4 bowls one way and 4 bowls the other. That's about as many as you need. That's all you'd get in the start of these matches throughout the week. If you play 4s, you only get 2 up and 2 back. So to get the extra bowls.
How is it, once again, for those people that don't play much bowls, what's it like at a country carnival? Because I imagine these guys that we're watching, a lot of them would play on grass greens. There'd be some artificial turf as well that they play on. Is that something that's easy or hard? I mean, everyone's different, I guess, but is it easy or hard to adapt to, going from an artificial to a grass?
I think they play relatively similarly. I think the only real change is, on the artificial or carpet, that you can occasionally be a little bit more sort of slippery if you play a bit of weight. The jack moves a bit further with the heavier jack on the carpet or artificial as opposed to the grass. So it's probably not a huge amount of difference, but, maybe a little bit.
As forehand is the hand of choice so far. And Isaac, I remember last year we were sitting here and the guys were doing a great job as far as the live streaming is concerned. And I ballsed up at least twice their name. Can we get the name of the live streaming business that's getting the live stream out? And I'm going to write it down and I'll make sure that I pronounce it properly this time.
Sure can, mate. Spacequake Sports.
Spacequake, rightio. I think I called him Space Quack once, but
Fair chance.
Spacequake is they're doing a great job. 3 cameramen and the tech guy sitting behind us, who's very important because without the tech guy, it wouldn't be going out anywhere. Machin with the forehand, coming down. Currently looking like holding a couple at the moment. He's following it down. Just have a good look. Didn't get around the way that he wanted to, but he's just going to stay down there. And he's still got one bowl to bowl, but he's down there having a look to see the situation, to get a nice close look at him. The Stas brings it in. A little bit of a nudge on the way past, but not enough to make any difference.
You'd have to think this probably forces a change of hand for David here. Doesn't want to turn Stasinowsky in on the forehand, so throwing out on the backhand I think is the best option. Can draw a little touch and make 3.
You mentioned the breeze before, Isaac. Where's it coming from as far as our listeners are concerned, watching the forehands and the backhands come down? Is it favouring one hand or the other?
Yeah, just ever so slightly, I think, mate. Maybe just the commentary box side, but it's probably a little bit more up and down the rink, if anything else.
Yep.
So maybe a little bit slower going the way they're going and a little bit faster back towards the club. So for everyone who has been out at the men's country carnival for the last 7 days, they may or may not have seen the Prostate Cancer Foundation Australia being involved, trying to get the awareness for prostate cancer out into the world. Around 79 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer a day, Chook, and it's forecasted that close to 30,000 men will be diagnosed this year with prostate cancer. So, we're pretty happy and proud to be partnering with them for this event, along with, of course, MJ Insurance Group, but the Women's Country Carnival as well with, I believe it's breast cancer.
Yep.
So great to be able to use the avenues of the events to get the awareness out for cancer.
So important to get those checks done.
Absolutely.
And there's an age group that they say that you need to start getting checked. Well, you know what? If the age group is 40 and above or whatever, that doesn't matter to me, I don't think. I think just go and get checked.
Absolutely.
Go and get checked. Doesn't matter how old you are. Make sure you keep on regular checks. And that goes with men and women as far as the prostate cancer and breast cancer is concerned, respectively. Get checking. Doesn't hurt to check early.
That's it. So as this stream progresses, we'll have a couple of special guests join us to talk more about prostate cancer today. But we won't be missing any of the bowls as that occurs. Dave Machin, great weight again, just cutting the line. Take a bit of confidence, I think, from that last end, Dave Machin. He played it pretty well. Stas dropped short on all 4 of his, so he'd also just be trying to concentrate, especially this end, just trying to arrive, as we see there. Probably this loosest bowl for the game so far.
Isaac, also you mentioned Stas and how a lot of bowlers would know a fair bit about him. For those people that don't know much about bowls, what's the story behind him? You mentioned he's back at Murray Bridge now. What's the life story of the Stas or Andrew Stasinowsky?
Yeah, look, I don't know him that well, but I do believe he did start at Murray Bridge some time ago. Has played at Millswood more recently, and I believe he's moved house back to Murray Bridge. So, opting to play there, which makes sense. A little bit less travel time for him as he throws down another horn.
Good start to the game, 2-2 currently. Machin's going to come forehand again, so he's going to come out towards the commentary box side.
That's it. Got a couple of bowls to sit here too. Can trail a jack. Just don't think he's going to get back from out there, Chook.
Yep. Once again, weight very good.
Stas just rolling through there. Looks like he's got one shot, could be two. We'll just wait and see what the marker says. But, Chook, as we said, we'll have a couple of special guests on. We're going to start here with someone that I'm sure plenty of people will know, but I'll hand it over to you, Chook, to get stuck into it.
Well, first off, we're going to introduce Will McDonald, who a lot of people would know from the TV and from the news reading and reporting, and a very famous young man. How are you, Will?
Hello, everyone. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here at we're at the Marion Bowling Club, aren't we?
We are.
Now, let me get the lay of the land.
Yes.
What's this competition today?
This is the Country Carnival. Country Carnival, where people from all around the state converge on Adelaide, and you'll look out over the bowling green that you're at the moment, Will, and you'll see people from Streaky Bay, see people from Berry, from Bullaroo Centre, from Mount Barker, all over the place.
Some of my old stomping ground when I was a very young journalist and
spent
TV
a bit of
reporter.
time in Port Pirie, I believe.
Port Lincoln and then Port Pirie.
Yeah.
About 4 years in the country.
Yeah.
So, yep.
And you came back to the awful city life of Adelaide.
No, it's a little bit busy, a little bit more traffic. I've been here a while now. I grew up in Adelaide, of course, so it was great to make the move home to Channel 9 here in Adelaide. So yeah, it's I have a wonderful job and I get to use that job for a wonderful cause, which is I think why I'm here today.
Well, the cause today is all about prostate cancer and the Foundation of Australia. Now, Will, can you tell us a bit about your journey in regards to what's your connection towards it?
Yeah, so I discovered in a very real, personal way that prostate cancer is not just an old man's disease. I was diagnosed back in 2020, in July 2020. I was 42 years old. I had a PSA of 38, and I had advanced aggressive prostate cancer. In layman's terms, I guess, that basically means I had stage 4 cancer. So the cancer had spread into my bones. And I discovered it without any symptoms whatsoever of prostate cancer. What I had was a really sore hip joint. And that was basically when I got diagnosed after a whole bunch of tests, the cancer had spread into my hip joint. So I realised that prostate cancer doesn't discriminate. It doesn't discriminate about how old you are, how much money you have, what your postcode is. None of those things matter. It's just a disease that can strike at any point. But the key things about it are family history and age in some factors, but not entirely anymore. I don't really include that. I think from 40 onwards, people should be aware of it. So yeah, I really discovered that it can affect anyone.
How is it, speaking of affecting, how has it affected you moving forward in regards to physically, emotionally, psychologically? We see you on the news and we see Will McDonald doing a great job reading the news and think everything's fine and everything's peachy. How has it affected you?
You know, in the early stages, I did a very good job of hiding my shock and grief and personal trauma that I was going through. For the first 2 weeks of my diagnosis, I basically didn't tell anyone other than my doctors, and I fronted up to work every day, and I sat at the news desk for an hour. And to be fair, that hour of sitting at the news desk was a way of just blocking out the difficulty of what was going on in my personal life. So to start with, I think a lot of people who have been diagnosed with cancer, and sadly a lot have, you will understand that shock. It is just shock, and you're in a little bit of a daze. And you think the world should stop while you deal with it, but the world doesn't. And you've got to continue on. Really early on, I decided that I'm just going to be as positive as I possibly can be. And that's the spirit that I've kind of taken through it for the last almost 6 years. It was just a mental battle as much as a physical battle for me. But I went through chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and I now live on some medication which is called hormone therapy, which is no fun. It's quite difficult with a lot of different side effects. But I get to be, relatively healthy and happy and still live a pretty good life, even though I have to keep in the back of my mind that I've got to be aware of it.
I think the very important word that you mentioned during that chat and that answer to that question was support. And the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia they're offering obviously great support to so many Australians. How do they support you, and what's your thought process in regards to the way they do their job and to help you?
The Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia was like this gift that came out of nowhere when I was first diagnosed. It was like just a wonderful gateway into meeting people and professionals and nurses and doctors who know what you're going through. The Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia have this wonderful, wonderful program, and you're going to hear more about that in a little while, called the Specialist Nursing Program, where the nurses just understand what is going on. When you're in a medical system, it can be a bit of a rush sometimes. But the thing that I've really gotten out of it is getting to meet so many specialist nurses who work for the PCFA, and they just have the time to answer in a slightly different way than other medical specialists do. They're wonderful. It is such a great program that happens, and I hope anyone who is sadly diagnosed with prostate cancer, make sure they know there is often a nurse at many of the treatment centres, but there's also a wonderful telehealth nursing service which you can call up for free and talk to a wonderful trained nurse. So that's been terrific. But it just lets you know that you're not alone. Because I think when you're diagnosed with cancer to start with, you feel so alone, like no one knows what you're going through. And then you kind of get some of the information and you meet some of the people from the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia and you realise you're not in this alone. And I think that's really critical.
Speaking to Will McDonald, Channel 9 newsreader, and very well known around country areas as well. And we'll touch on that now as far as the countryside of things go. And it might be a question more so for Sarah than yourself, Will, but you'll probably know the answer is, as far as the foundation's concerned, a lot of people automatically think, right, these great foundations, they're doing so much great work, they'll be in the city. Are they also in country areas?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been a lot of work been done recently. Sally Sarah, the team she leads, to get more nurses into regional South Australia and regional Australia. A couple of years ago, I was up at the Pascoeville Field Days.
Yep.
And we had a stand up there, and we had a bit of awareness and fundraising and things like that. And communities are getting around it they do their own fundraising to make sure that the PCFA and other organisations can fund the prostate cancer specialist nursing organisations. So they are out in regional areas, but it is sadly no secret, and as I said, Sally can talk more about this, but it's no secret, sadly, that men in regional Australia do have, sadly, worse outcomes from prostate cancer than if you live close to a metro city.
Yep.
So there needs to be a lot of awareness about early detection on that front, but also a lot more support, funding, to make sure that there's no divide in terms of the care that you get no matter where you live.
Some of the advice you'd give to people that are thinking about, right, I need to have a test done, or I'm worried about this, or I'm worried about that. How have you changed your life in regards to, let's say, what you eat? Let's say what you do physically to get fitter or something. Is there a certain amount of things that you've done along the way to help the process of what you're going through, e.g. walking in the morning, for example, that sort of stuff?
Look, I have absolutely... Look, I was kind of fairly fit, I guess, when I was diagnosed, which made it a bit of a shock. I thought I was really healthy, fit and strong, but I still got diagnosed,
Yep.
So it doesn't discriminate in that regard. Yeah, my health now, in terms of what I do, what I eat, is, in my mind, a little bit too much sometimes.
Yep.
But I just try to live a really balanced, good lifestyle. I eat well, I watch saturated fats, I do that
Yep.
stuff. But it is just listening to the really good basic advice. You don't need to go crazy in terms of changing things. I didn't become vegan overnight or anything like that. Mm-hmm. If you're vegan, that's fine.
Yep.
But you don't need to do dramatic things. You just need to listen to the good, solid, basic health advice of eating good. No, I try not to eat ultra-processed foods, all that sort of stuff. The one thing I do advocate hugely is exercise.
Yep.
I've been a little bit crazy in terms of what I've done. I did a Ironman triathlon after I was diagnosed as a fundraiser for the PCFA.
Yep,
I always wanted to do one. And I guess there's this scenario where when you get diagnosed with a really serious cancer, you kind of want to live life now,
Yep.
and you just never know what's going to happen next. So I say to anyone, if you want to do something, do it. Exercise is massive. Exercise. It's the greatest medicine other than medicine. So that's the key thing that I would tell people.
As you can tell, Will, by looking at me and talking to me, I don't get out and do as much exercise. I should be doing. If I did an ultra marathon, I'd last about 2.5 metres, I reckon. That'd be about it. I wouldn't run out of sight on a dark night, I don't think, Will. Will, what have events like this mean to you? Because you're getting the word out there. I imagine you're doing guest speaking and stuff like that all the time. What have events like the Country Carnival mean to you and to the organisation that you're in love with?
Well, personally, I turn up at an event like this and I see the PCFA banner over there, and I just feel like people have my back.
Yep.
I feel really, really grateful and honoured that people are even talking about it. You've got us on to talk about this.
Yep.
Honestly, I do. I think it's amazing. Every event I go to where people are fundraising, no matter what they give, if it's $1 or $10,000, I think that is staggering that someone cares enough about a stranger to try and help them out. The other key thing that I think is wonderful about this is it just gives us the chance to get awareness out there. Testing is really, really easy. I have a slogan on my T-shirt at the back. It says, "The tough get tested." Now, there's a lot of misinformation, I guess you'd say, about what a prostate cancer test is or a PSA test is.
Fingers have been mentioned quite a bit over the years.
They have, that's right. For lack of a better word, let's chop fingers off.
Yeah, let's forget about the fingers.
Fingers, that does not happen. That is not a thing. It is a blood test, dudes. It is a blood test. That is it. Turn up, they take a little bit of blood, you can get a PSA test. And it's just so important to get that reading so that you know what's going on in your body. Information is power. So my advice is, from the age of 40, go to your GP, get a PSA test, know what your number is, especially if you've got any family history.
Well, McDonald, it's been great to catch up with you, but one final question, and thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for your time to have a chat about it, and we'll catch up with Sally very shortly. But you talk about the support of the foundation and what they've done. You've obviously had a lot of support from family, employment at Channel 9. And you probably get emotional because I reckon you're that sort of guy. You've had a lot of support along the way, apart from the magnificent foundation of prostate cancer.
It's funny you say get emotional. The moment you said about family and things like that, I get a little tear, and that's one of the side effects of the hormone therapy. It does make you quite emotional really easily. My family have been nothing short of amazing. I have an amazing partner, Samantha. We managed to have a little boy called Alfie. He's 3. So if you do the maths, we had him after I was diagnosed. IVF is a wonderful thing. We managed to do that. So, and my family, who live on the Gold Coast, actually, they are wonderful, and we just keep the positive spirit going all the time. There's a wonderful photo, if I can quickly say. There's a wonderful photograph. When I did the Ironman triathlon in Cairns a few years ago, there's this wonderful photograph of me afterwards with everybody. And we all have on the same T-shirt. I had a T-shirt made up for the fundraising. And I just love it. Everybody was there. You can't do this alone. No one should go through cancer alone. And I think that the things turn out so much better for you, and you just have a much greater appreciation when you have people and you lean on people, whether it's your family, friends, or whatever support network you can have. So, I've been very fortunate, from family, work, just everybody, random strangers.
Well, we love what you do on Channel 9. I haven't met you personally until today, but I know a lot of people who do know you and say that you couldn't meet a nicer bloke, and I think that's certainly been the thumbs up as far as what I'm concerned as well. We love what you do on Channel 9. We wish you all the very best moving forward, Will. And once again, on behalf of Bowls SA, thank you very much for coming and say hello. Thank you for your time. And I'm not sure whether you're going to get a chance to have a bit of a bowl while you're here, but I wouldn't mind watching your form, Will.
Oh, dear. I thank you so much for all of that, those very kind words. We'll see how we go. My papa used to be a tremendous bowler, apparently, I get told. I don't know.
It's in the genes. There you go.
It might be. I don't know. We'll find out, eh? Thank you all so very much. Thank you to Bowls SA, of course, for just giving us the opportunity to chat.
Will McDonald, it's been a pleasure, and once again, moving forward, thank you very much, and all the very best.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
And here at the final, we'll just have a quick update on what's happening as far as the score goes. Over on the other game that we're not commentating on, and it's 10-0 in favour of Genki over the top of Roundtree, and it's a nice even game here, obviously, Isaac.
Certainly is, yeah. We've still seen it on our screens. Some good tight heads. Really just going shot for shot here at the moment, so nothing too dramatic. They are going to have a quick measure. See which way this goes. Of course...
what a ripping bloke Will McDonald is, by the way, Isaac.
Certainly.
Lovely fella.
Absolutely. Yep, great chat. Good to know more about prostate cancer and how impactful it can be and how important it is to be aware of it, get checked, and have a good support system around you.
Do you do the exercise that you should be doing, like Will mentioned? Because I'm certainly not the person that's doing the exercise that I need to be doing, Isaac. We need to fix that.
I like to think I do, but I could, working in an office, it does make it a little bit trickier some days.
Don't make excuses, Isaac. Come on.
So Machin collects another shot. Stringed a couple of ends together here, so just starting to poke his way in front, 5-3.
Good quality game. Both pairs' semi-finals are being played as well. Looks like they're fairly close contests on both of those as well, Isaac. Big cheerio to the curators of the bowling green too, and we've got one of the curators working on one of the other greens as we speak. Big cheerio to all the curators, do a great job.
It's close games in the pairs, but that singles game, Chook, is just starting to blow out a little bit there. It looks like Garen Jenke is up 10-0 over Fergus Roundtree. I'll keep trying to keep you up to date with that match as it progresses. Of course, we saw, we said it earlier, but we saw Garen in the final last year, so it'd be pretty cool for him to go make the final again. See if he can't go one better. Came runner-up last year.
Machin coming the commentary box side.
He's sort of forced the switch with his first one short. Second one on the switch also pulling up short. Can Stasinowsky, can he stop this little run of ends that Machin's been able to put together? Not far away with his second attempt. Turns his own bowl, he'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, nice.
Played it well. Stasi, I believe he's won quite a few club championships down at Millswood as well, Chook. So certainly not a stranger to a semi-final or a final. Machin, bowl 3. Body language not impressed.
I don't think it's there, is it? No, it's cutting across. Staz is holding 2 currently. Trails by 2. Comes once again commentary box side, which is backhand.
Gets another turn out of either of his bowls. He'd be pretty happy. Front one in particularly.
Looks a little wide. Maybe, once again, as far as tactics goes, is he deliberately gone back, do you think, there, Isaac? Just in case there's a bit of a hell ball coming?
Yeah, look, it's probably a pretty reasonable option. I mean, he turns one of his bowls, he'd be pretty happy, but, there's every chance that David opts for weight. This occasion he doesn't. With bowl 4, widest line he's taken so far, I don't think it's going to come back.
Yeah, it looks wide.
Wonder here, Chook, if Stas can get a turn out of his front one through the jack, he nearly makes 4 shots.
Now, Isaac, we haven't touched on it, but most people would know the answer. But what is the format in regards to the singles? Is it first to 21, or what's the scenario for our listeners at home?
Yeah, mate. First to 21 for the semi and the final. So they played first to 18 in the sectional rounds, and then once they get to knockouts, then it just goes up to 21.
And it's first to 21? You don't have to win by more than 2 or anything silly like that?
No, mate. No, not table tennis.
No. Yes, I know it's not table tennis, Isaac. Gee, that's a fair sledge, just quietly. Didn't expect that.
Didn't mean it like that.
I'm sort of thinking there might be a lot of viewers and watchers viewers and listeners that don't know much about bowls. So
fair call.
There may be some silly questions out there just for those people that don't have much to do with bowls in their life.
That's it. Stas gets 2 shots, takes that little run of ends away from David and gets them back to 5 all.
Yep. And had a lovely chat with Will McDonald from Channel 9 newsreader, and the prostate cancer story that he's been through and the support he's received. Lovely chat with Will, and he's a lovely fella. As I say, I know a lot of people that know him and say that he's a fantastic bloke. Well, I'd never met him until just then. Lovely fella, but we're now catching up with one of the magnificent organisers and nurses as far as the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia is concerned, and it's a very good morning to Sally. I was calling you Sarah before, but is Sarah your surname?
Yes.
Now this is a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, and I know that I've said this on other live streams over the years. My dad, who I love dearly, who's no longer with us, he said, never trust anyone that's got two Christian names for a name. But I trust you, Sally.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Sally, tell us your involvement as far as the magnificent organisation of Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting us here today. What a beautiful day at the lovely Marion Bowls Club, and as a South Australian country kid many years ago, I feel really privileged to be here on a day when the country teams...
Which parts, Sally?
All over. So
okay.
we lived in the southeast and the mid-north and the Riverland and all
nice.
over South Australia until I finished school and moved to the Big Smoke. So lovely to be here on the day the country teams are playing. So I'm a registered nurse. I have been almost 40 years now. And I set up in 2014 the first Commonwealth-funded prostate cancer role here in South Australia, in southern Adelaide. And for a little while I was the only prostate cancer nurse in all of South Australia, which is incredible, really. And in 2018, I was really fortunate enough to be asked to go over and work for the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia and lead their national nursing program. So from being one of the nurses, I then was able to take on a position where I could influence the growth of the program and what was provided. So from 2018 to now, in South Australia, we've gone from the one nursing position to 13. And nationally, when I first started in 2018, we had about 48 nurses nationally, and we've now got 125 at last count embedded in health services around Australia.
Excellent.
And we also set up in 2021 a telephone nursing hotline or helpline as well, and a dedicated counselling service, because not everybody will have access to a nurse in a treating health centre, and also really important that helpline for family members who may have questions, who can't speak to a local specialist, or members of the community who don't have prostate cancer but have questions about it. So that helpline is really important for anyone who has a question about prostate cancer in any shape or form. So yes, we've had huge growth over the last 8 years or so, and now in South Australia, as Will said, very proud to have nurses based in regional areas as well. We've got a nurse covering the southeast and one covering Eyre Peninsula, one covering York Peninsula, Riverland, Mallee, Coorong, Fleurieu Peninsula. We would like more.
I was just going to say
their load is pretty heavy.
That was my next question. You're talking about one on the Eyre Peninsula, one on the York Peninsula.
Yeah, and they're part-time.
How many do we need?
We could double that number.
How long's a piece of string, I suppose, isn't it?
That's right. So we could double that number in South Australia and double the hours we've got in city positions as well, and maybe go a little closer to really meeting the need. Yep. But it's still a significant change to how it was 14 or so years ago when there was just one. Yep. So we continue to work really hard to build our network and have more nurses in more positions, but also try and establish ways we can top up existing positions that may be part-time but really could do being full-time, or in some of the bigger hospitals in the city having a second nurse would be fantastic. Yep.
Sally, as far as the test is concerned, we had a bit of a fun time with Will talking about fingers, which I promised I wouldn't mention again, but I just did. How long does it take to get a test?
Not very long at all.
So we need to encourage people to go and get. If it's not going to take very long and it's easy, let's get out and do it. But what does it involve?
So it involves having generally a chat to a GP, who will write out a pathology form to have a blood test done, and then a return appointment to the GP's rooms in a week or two time to get those results, the PSA. So PSA stands for prostate-specific antigen. It's a protein that prostate cells make. So normal prostate cells make that protein, but prostate cancer cells make more of it.
Yep.
So it's not an definitive test for prostate cancer. It's a risk indicator.
Yep.
So it's a very quick, easy way with a simple blood test to find out, is there something of concern in relation to the prostate, and then that can lead to further tests that are a bit more definitive in terms of getting a diagnosis. So it's a first level, quick check. Conversation with a GP, results back very quickly, and then based on those results, maybe checking it again at a later date.
Yep.
But you have a baseline, as Will was saying, having that baseline and having that conversation is really important. It's sort of like the line in the sand, really. If it looks okay, then it will be repeated at a later date on a regular basis. If it looks like it's up a bit and it's of concern, then that can lead to some further tests like a MRI scan, and then if there's further concern there, it may lead to a biopsy itself.
In Will's situation, he mentioned that symptoms, well, there might be symptoms there that you know about. I mean, in his case, he had a sore hip, etc. Is there anything you can tell the guys that are listening right now, something that might be there as a symptom that might be a warning sign that you need to go and test?
Often in the early stages of prostate cancer, there aren't any symptoms. And often when symptoms pop up, such as the one Will was talking about, the symptom is a sign that the prostate cancer has gone outside the prostate and lodged itself somewhere else.
Yep.
Often men, as they get older, can get some issues with their waterworks, getting started, or fully emptying, and that sort of, or kind of needing to go a bit more swiftly to the men's room. Often that is connected to what we call benign prostate disease, where it's just the prostate itself is enlarged a little bit as the ageing process happens. But often those symptoms are the ones that will send men off to their GP, and then part of that will be to have a blood test, and that may pick up prostate cancer as well. Those symptoms with the waterworks are not always a sign that there's prostate cancer, but they are a good indicator to go and have a check in the first place. And early detection is key. If it can be picked up stage 1, stage 2, where all the treatment options are on the table, is a very, very high chance of cure.
A lot of us are buffheads like me. I'm 58. I started getting tested when I was about 52.
Well done.
But is it getting better? Are men getting better at getting these checks? Are men getting better at going to the doctor and the GPs?
What I see happening is men are talking about it more.
Yeah, good.
And certainly 10, 15 years ago, I met men who'd had prostate cancer for many years and not even told their closest mates, the mates they play golf with or bowls with, or some who hadn't even told family members. And I think as awareness grows, men are feeling more comfortable to talk about it and let people know. And I've certainly seen many men who've been tested on the back of having a mate diagnosed, and then that picks up, and sometimes that saves their lives. Often that saves their lives. So I think, to answer your question, we've come a long way, probably in the last 10 to 20 years, but we still have a long way to go. The awareness piece is really important.
Yep.
The other important factor, in addition to talking about it more openly these days, is knowing family history. Because not all prostate cancer is connected to a family history, but it can often be connected to a family history. So if a man has his dad or uncle has been diagnosed with prostate cancer in the past, so important that they chat to their GP about that and get tested early. And for men diagnosed who have sons, really important those sons know, and then they get on and get tested early.
And as far as testing is concerned, Will mentioned it, and you mentioned it as well, sort of around that 40 years of age onwards. Is there any need, is there any requirement for people to maybe start a bit earlier than that, 30 years of age, 35 years of age? Because Will being fit, Will being young, and he was young when he was diagnosed, is there an advantage in getting in there early before the age of 40?
It's really important for men who have a family history of prostate cancer to make sure their GPs and other medical staff they come across know about that. Currently, the Australian guidelines for testing for prostate cancer say from the age of 50 or from the age of 40 with a family history. That may well change in the near future, and there are men who do see their GPs who have a family history where GPs decide to test earlier.
Yep.
We would just say don't wait. So if you have a family history and you're getting on a bit and you've never been, please go. And if you're over 50, even without a family history, please have a discussion with your GP about prostate health.
2 final questions before I let you go, Sally, because I know you're very busy. How do we, and people that are listening, help the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia? How can we donate? How can we get more information? There's obviously social media with Facebook pages and everything. Tell us about how we can help and how we can get involved.
Well, that's a fantastic question. There are many ways to get involved, certainly through events like this, and we're very grateful for the support. And there are quite a lot of other fundraising events that happen around town. People can go to our website, it's prostate.org.au, or give us a ring on 1800 22 0099. We have pages linked up. You can set up special fundraising events. Our team can link in with you. So really, it can be as small as a $5 donation or an event like this. Bowls for Blue also has a special website.
Bowls for Blue?
Yes.
Yep,
that,
Bowls for Blue.
We
Excellent.
will give you the details of perhaps, and you could
absolutely.
mention it in a
Yeah,
minute.
absolutely, Sarah.
For this particular event. So it can be as easy as a $5 donation through our
Everything
our
helps,
account.
doesn't it?
Yes, or an event. And the other wonderful thing about events like these, the fundraising aspect, of course, is important. We're supporting our nurses and our telehealth line and our counselling service and the research we do. But also events like this are incredibly important in raising awareness. Men chatting to other men, men feeling comfortable to talk about if they've had an experience with prostate cancer, but also men thinking about going and having a chat to their GP and getting that blood test done, particularly if they've not been there before. And if anyone has any questions about testing or treatment or support, please, again, ring our number, 1800 22 0099. That will direct you straight through to our nursing helpline. If someone has been diagnosed and hasn't had access to a local prostate cancer nurse, ring that number. If there is a nurse locally available, we can make that linkage happen as well.
Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia have been mentioned throughout the interview with Will, of course, and he told us about his journey, and he said how wonderful the nurses were and the support he's got from his family and friends and employment, etc., have been magnificent. One last question for you, Sally, with tongue in cheek. You mentioned that you've been involved in the nurse side of things for 14 years, I think you meant?
Nearly 40.
40.
Yes,
Well,
that's aged me a little bit.
What got you started, and why prostate cancer nurse? Because, like I said, there's a lot of buffheads out there. Why and how did you first get started that 40 years ago?
It's a bit of a long story. Certainly going into nursing 40 years ago, I was young and I guess like many nurses just had that desire.
Doesn't look like you've been involved for 40 years. You look very young now, Sally, if you don't mind me saying.
That's very kind of you. But that desire really to help people in their time of need. When the Commonwealth-funded prostate cancer job came up here, I saw an ad in the paper. I was happily doing another nurse. I was in a nursing management job, which I figured I'd be in for years, and I saw an ad in the paper to set up a prostate cancer nursing role, and I could not stop thinking about it. And in the end, I thought, I will regret it if I don't throw my hat in the ring for this. And then, blow me down, I got the role and set up a service from the ground up, which is a great privilege, and many people in their career don't get a chance to set something up from the ground. And by the end of the first month, I was totally absorbed in the prostate cancer space. The inequities in care and support, the knowing how much work we needed to do in raising awareness, and the volume of men. Nearly 300,000 Australian men are living with prostate cancer currently. And I knew then that I would spend the rest of my career working in the prostate cancer specialty area.
Sally, Sarah, on behalf of Will, who was here we were talking about before and talking to before, on behalf of all the men that have been affected, all the people that use your service as far as the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia, on behalf of everyone, we thank you for what you do and appreciate everything you do and love everything that you do. And make sure the listeners and the viewers get on those Facebook pages, get on those websites and donate, because we want more nurses out there.
Thank you, and thank you so much for inviting us here today. It means a lot to us.
Yeah. Now, there's a story going around that we did mention that Will McDonald was going to get a bowl, and his grandfather was quite a good bowler. I think Sally Sarah might get a bit of a go as well. Any chance?
Oh, well,
Isaac's here. Isaac, can we organise that by any chance?
Sure we could.
Yeah.
Sure we could.
Yeah.
Barefoot.
Mind you, you don't want to show up the country carnival bowlers that are bowling in these finals. If you show them up, there'll be an absolute riot. But to Will McDonald, to Sally Sarah and the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia, we thank them very much. And get on those websites, get on those Facebook pages, donate, and they do a marvellous job and make sure that there's plenty more of them, and that great work continues.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Sally. Isaac Trenotum, back to the bowls, and the foundation, the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia, do a marvellous job, and we thank Will, we thank Sally, we thank the gentleman that was here that I didn't get the name of before. He doesn't want to be mentioned. Jason, is it? Yeah, we want to thank him as well. But thank you very much to the guys that, and then the back of T-shirt of Will McDonald says, "The tough get tested." So get the simple PSA test and make sure that you men, whether you like it or not, there's a chance that you've got to get a test very soon, particularly over the age of 40. And we thank both Sally and Will very much. Back to the bowls, and it's a nice close game here, Isaac.
Often I'm with these men when they're actually diagnosed with prostate cancer, and many of them, when they're told, are in complete shock. And the first thing they'll say to you is, "I really didn't think I was coming in to be told this. I thought I would have just been told that the biopsy was fine and everything's okay." We're in an extremely privileged position to be able to support these people and their families at one of the most stressful and vulnerable times of someone's life.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good to have those conversations with Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia. From here on in, Chook, we are bowls focused 100%. So buckle up. We've got a great contest in front of us. Machin just edging his way in front. Stasinowsky hot on his tail.
In the other semi-final, Jenke from Berry is 13-2 up on the other scoreline. So bowling very well, but nice close contest. Machin 9-7 up here. First to 21. And having both Will and Sally here, good chats with them. And Isaac, not wanting to get too personal with you, but you're nowhere near 40. But we all need to go and get tested if you haven't already. You might think, oh, I'm all right, everything's okay, I've got nothing to worry about. Well, if you're over the age of 40, it's always a good idea to, better to be safe than sorry, I think is the take-home message. And if you can donate to the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia, please do so. They're always, like a lot of these organisations, always looking for donations and fundraising to make sure that this great service continues.
That's it. Stasinowsky, second bowl there, collecting the shot. Haven't seen too many loose ones in this, those last few ends. Has been watching and listening to those stories. So the quality of game certainly hasn't changed.
The length of the bowls, there hasn't been too many short ones or long ones that haven't been delivered, and that's a lovely toucher. Lovely bowl. Following him down. Commentary box side. Doesn't look like it's going to turn. It's got a little bit of weight to go out the back. Stasinowsky. From the way both of these bowlers are bowling, what actually happens on weekends? Do they play on the weekend for their local club? Do you know, Isaac? Or
that's a good question. Look, these two, I'm going to say they probably did, being Murray Bridge and Mount Barker. You know, can drive in and out from Adelaide from those venues, but be pretty confident in saying that Mark Wrigley over there from Streaky Bay probably didn't play Pennant. on
No,
Saturday.
they didn't play. They don't play again until the 21st of February. The Streaky Boys.
Nice.
And obviously for a lot of reasons, a lot of the comps don't play on the weekend because Country Carnival, and hopefully a lot of the bowlers are coming down to the Country Carnival. With that in mind, Isaac, how have the numbers been throughout the year? Have the numbers been around the same sort of numbers as usual, or have they been up or down on past years?
Yeah, they're around the mark, mate. They're coupled down this year. I think the fours was maybe 4 teams less than last year, and then you sort of apply that similar ratio of people to the other events. So probably down about 8 teams in the pairs, and therefore about 15 or 16 entries in the singles. So
I think we talk about cost of living with so many things, and I think that's probably the reason why, because people just haven't got the money to pay for the accommodation. In a lot of cases, it's fairly expensive to come down here for a week or more.
Yeah, 100%. And look, some of these players are going to play country round robin for the next 4 days as well.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
It ends up being a 2-week event. The hard part, the great part of living in South Australia is we have these really cool international events. The hard part for people coming down for round robin is that it does clash with live golf, so naturally that's going to put a slightly bigger price tag on those last couple of nights for those playing and staying down in Adelaide.
And Isaac, once again, a lot of people would know you, Isaac Trnorden, they know you and what you do, but once again, there's a lot of people that might be listening and watching that don't know much about you. Tell everyone a little bit about what your role is with the magnificent Bowls SA setup, because you're only a small team.
We are, mate, yeah.
Tell us about what you do and what your official title is. Well, the official title, not the Chuck Haslett Isaac Trnorden title that we're going to give you, but what do you do for Bowls SA and how busy have you been? Give people a bit of a picture of how busy it's been getting bowling greens and getting the Country Carnival up and going.
Yeah, so title is Manager of Bowls Operations, but in saying that, we've got a really good team at the moment, full of people who are really passionate about delivering the best products, the best events, everything to the top and best quality that we can. Of course, there's only 6 of us in the office, so we have to work really hard to get everything ready. Country Carnival, very, very busy time of year, especially with round robin to follow, and this year with the Women's Country Carnival straight after. So 3 chock-a-block weeks of bowls, but if you like bowls and you're passionate about bowls, it's very enjoyable. It makes it a pretty good place to work, and you can't really complain about sitting out in the warm weather right now under the shade watching bowls and just talking bowls.
And speaking of your team, who else is in your team? Who else is at Bowls SA that people need to know about, particularly when it comes to Country Carnival?
Well, to be honest, mate, everyone. I think we all play a significant role in getting these events up and running. We've got Lou as the CEO. Lucy Tiller works in marketing, so anyone who's been around bowls the last few years probably know Lucy. She's been at many events, plays a bit herself. We've got Michaela, who's here at the club now helping out, who plays currently at Adelaide.
Yep.
We've also got Anna, who, if you ever call Bowls SA, there's a very good chance you'll get Anna to pick up the phone, and she is certainly really important to getting this event up and running. She does a great job booking the venues and the volunteer umpires and markers for days like today, round robin for the next week, Women's Country Carnival finals, all the finals and all these kind of events. She does a great job.
Great bowl by Machin coming in. He gets the touch. He's going to sit with it, pretty close to it. Looks like he's holding at least 2 by the look of it, Isaac. Isaac, as far as and we'll commentate on the bowls very shortly, but as far as the Country Carnival is concerned, we're here at the lovely Marion Bowling Club, and you mentioned Millswood, and you mentioned all these different clubs, etc. How happy are the city clubs having Country Carnival throughout the week? Is it something where particular days are better for one club and not the other? And paint us a picture as to how it's received by the clubs that you're asking to use their greens?
Yeah, mate. They love it. They thoroughly enjoy hosting the men's country carnival and the women's country carnival. I guess the men's fours is naturally the hot ticket item.
Because you got more bums on seats.
More bums on seats, and certainly plenty more beverages consumed.
Like soda water and...
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cooper's 3.5 is a good one as well.
Yes. There's no doubt I'll have a couple of them a little bit later on. In fact, is it midday yet? No, not quite.
Nearly.
Yeah.
But no, they very much love hosting, mate. It's a good time for them. It's a good time for the participants as well, coming down, playing on the good greens. At most of these clubs, good hospitality, and of course, great volunteers.
Also, the volunteers, you mentioned as far as the lunches and everything that they do to make sure everyone's felt welcome, and the umpires, you mentioned the umpires, they're volunteering their time, which is magnificent. But it's all about bowls, but it's also all about the social side of things, the catching up with people that you haven't seen for 12 months, and we've already got a game that's been completed by the look of it, Isaac.
Yeah, we have. The last few ends we looked over, and it looked like Garen Jenke has got over the top of Fergus Roundtree there, 21-5. But well, I don't think it really didn't tell the picture of the game. It looked like Fergus was in the area a lot, just would half a jack or half a bowl and not get any result, or he would just go through a little gap. Definitely didn't paint the picture, but well done to Garen Jenke, making it through to his second Country Carnival singles final in 2 years.
Now we have a bit of a break, and as a bowler that's about to play in a final, I suppose there's tactics involved in regards to, he'll now take a look at these two bowlers. It's a close game here with Machin currently 12-7 up. Do you take a bit of a look at your opposition, and do you think, right, this is a strength of his, this is a weakness of his? Do you try and pick up on what's going on? And secondly, being the final, where does it get played? Because do you change rinks, or what happens there?
Yeah, mate, all good questions. I think as much as you watch your opposition, you probably don't take a huge amount away from it. I mean, to make it to a final, they can obviously play a bit. There's probably not a huge amount of weakness or particular strengths that you're going to be competing against that you can, I guess, overly use to your advantage, especially watching him play someone else. But we'll have to chat to the players. So they're very likely going to be on this rink again. They will get an up and back, of course, being a final. But yeah, for men's country carnival, the way we try and operate, all on the one green. Obviously a fair setup here with a couple of scaffolds and the cameras and everything.
Yep.
So they will play on the same rink.
So next question is that an advantage for the bowler that's been on here for that game during the semi-final?
Oh, there probably is a touch, mate, but I think we down here at Marion, we're definitely not like you're going to get a bad rink or a dodgy rink.
Yeah.
So
no, good point.
Won't be a whole lot of difference between them. Stasinowsky, can he make it off his front one, even turn it in? No is the answer, just hanging wide. Weight was good. Machin just starting to peel away here. He'll make his way now to 13 shots. Collecting one here.
Conditions perfect. Really nice weather here at the Marion Bowling Club.
That's it. Sun's got a little bit of bite, but nice cool breeze coming through. Nothing too strong. Won't be having too much effect on the bowls.
As we can see in the distance, they can't on the screen obviously, but we can see on the bowling green to the western side, four people over there on the bowling green marking the lines. Curators are busy. Cheerio to all the curators of the bowling greens that have had the Country Carnival here. Machin brings it down. A little bit short. Not overly happy with it. He turns around and goes and collects his second one. Stazza currently trailing by 6 shots. Wants to put the pressure on by putting on a nice close one. Once again, a little bit short. Big cheerio to everyone who's not that I've had a look, but I imagine there's a few. Comments in regards to the live stream, Isaac. Hopefully, they're all nice comments.
Yeah, mate.
Has anyone said how handsome we look on camera?
I think I did see a couple in there actually, but I didn't want either of us to get ahead of ourselves. I
know you're lying.
Yeah.
I know you're lying. I know you're lying. Stazza needs something close. He wouldn't be panicking just yet. He's trailing by 6 overall. Goes away from us on the forehand. He's turned his back on it. He's not happy, obviously. But he's given his first one a bit of a nudge up to. It'll be one to Stazza, and a measure for second is the early call from Millswood umpire.
Dave, commentary box side, just poked it out a little bit wide.
Hello. Jason's come in with the bit of information regarding the bowls for blue. Isaac.
That's it. If anyone is interested in donating, www.bowlsforblue.org.au. If you do want to get involved, of course, we heard those very impactful stories just before from both Will and Sally. So if it did touch you, feel like you want to get involved, that's where you got to go, www.bowlsforblue.org.au. Of course, you can jump on the Bowls Say website or Bowls Say Facebook page. The info is there as well.
Machin is coming on the forehand as well. He wants to get around those 2 black bowls of Stazza's. Hasn't got the distance.
No, you're disappointed with that set of 4, I reckon.
And I'm tipping that Stazza will come now on the backhand, I would think.
Yeah, his bowl coming in probably only needs a turn and a half, maybe 2 rolls to get in, if it's not already.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of weight, a little bit of extra weight on this one by the look of it. There's a gap there to go through. In fact, he's not going to go through the gap. He's going to go around perfectly. That is a beautiful bowl. It's a beautiful bowl. And under a bit of pressure with being 6 down, first to 21, 2 have been kicked away, and there's a chance for a measure, maybe. As Machin's just, he's conceded 2, and he's thinking, right, do we need to measure this?
Yeah, it looks like the one on the blue line and the centre line looks like it's in, being that Machin's bowl is sort of level.
Yep.
But that wing one, I think, is probably the major question.
Now, Spacequake camera work is magnificent. It's giving us a bit of an idea of the process of measuring, something that I absolutely despise. I don't like measuring. I haven't got a steady hand, Isaac. That's a total of 4.
That's it. That'll put some wind in the sails, gets him to double figures. Only 2 shots behind now.
Looked like 3 for sure, but yeah, that measure surprised me. That's good. That's a good one for Stazza. Cuts the margin back to 2. As Machin just goes and he's got a mate behind the bowling green that he's going to have a chat to. He's just wiping his face with. It is starting to warm up out there, particularly if you're standing out in the sun. We've been well sheltered here by the Bowls SA tent. Has he got the journey with this one? Looks like he's got it pretty close. Yeah, that's a lovely bowl.
It's
nice one to start with. And where do you play, Isaac?
Play at Sturt, mate.
Yeah, there you go.
Recently made the change.
Give your club a bit of a rap. They a good club? How are they going
Certainly
this
are,
year?
Mate. Cracking club. We're going well, mate. We're going well. Handful of sides. We've got 7 Saturday sides and
7 Saturday sides.
Yeah.
Gee, lovely bowl.
Yep.
Lovely touch and followed it a fair way. Sorry, so Sturt. Yep.
Yeah, 2 greens every Saturday. All 14 rinks are used, so we're it's always a little bit touch and go.
Gee, not a bad reply either. Good bowl. Regaining the shot, you would think, from the camera angle that we just saw.
Not a bad shot on here, though, for Dave. Just arrive up, get a turn out of his own, sit that last one of Stasinowsky's.
Now, Isaac, you also represent the state. Tell us what's on the horizon as far as representation bowls, rep bowls is concerned. You got much going on as far as higher levels?
Yeah, well, I guess the South Australian environment, we really only have nationals as our event. So I guess for now, we're probably all focusing on our own game, just trying to work through what we've got to do to be better. And of course, what we want to do at the club.
Oh, great bowl.
Stasinowsky. That is an absolute bomb.
He needed to hit him perfectly, and that's exactly what he did. Sorry to cut you off there, Isaac.
So we really just turn our heads towards the next Nationals, which is in October this year, going back to Perth. Everyone's, I guess, working on their own game through their own events and tournaments and state events. State finals coming up soon. Machin not far away, though.
Oh, cut it back to 1.
So, and trials coming up, I think, late April, early May, and throughout May, I should say, for those that are lucky enough to make it through that far.
So you get a squad gets picked, and then a bit of this and a bit of that in regards to making sure you fine-tune the squad later on. Is that how it works?
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Lovely bowl again. Gee, we've got some good quality semi-final action here, Isaac.
That's 3 cracking shots from Stasinowsky. 4 even. Actually, his first bowl was a fantastic start. So,
bit of shade over the head at the moment. Can we shift that light tower, do you think, Isaac? Can we ask the Marion Bowling Club to shift that light tower?
I think that one actually, believe it or not, that one actually fell over not that long ago. It was the one of the older towers. That's a new tower now, so I think we're pretty safe. But I think it was when we had a few years ago. We had a really windy, stormy couple of weeks, and I think that's when it fell over.
Anyway, 2 to Stazza, levels up the score at 13 all, and game on. As mentioned, Janky's already made his way through. He had an easy win of 21-5, but a good quality game, as mentioned by Isaac. The game between Janky and Roundtree, if you weren't looking at the scoreboard, you wouldn't have known that was the score, Isaac. It was a good quality semi-final, but Janky, who was the finalist last year, grand finalist last year, he got the job done pretty easy as far as the scoreboard goes, but a very good quality semi-final.
That's it. Stasinowsky with a pretty good start once again, leading this charge well.
Gee whiz. I need to take more interest in how these guys are bowling, because I might learn a few things. Very good quality, as you'd expect in the semi-final.
Seems like the hand to play just seems to turn just a little bit more on that non-commentary box side, so that sort of Westfield end. Dave Machin with a brilliant response. Front resting toucher, if you don't mind.
Staz's just asking the umpire. Are we calling him an umpire? What are you calling it in bowls? Is it an umpire or a
marker.
ref or a marker?
Yep.
Just asking the marker how far away the kitty was, because of course Machin's bowl is blocking his view.
Not far away, only needs to touch it just.
Just missed.
Great speed.
Just looking over at Jenke, I asked whether he keeps an eye on the other bowlers. I've been keeping an eye on Jenky, and he doesn't care. He's just drinking lots of water. He's about to go in and get something to eat, I think, but he's not watching this game.
Cool, pretty cool, calm, collected kind of guy. Not fazed by much. So important for Dave's bowls here. This one in particular, just to get past the head. Any touch on his bowl will just push the jack back.
Has he got the length? Not quite.
Dave's bowl being a resting toucher here, Chook. Essentially, whatever weight that Stasinowsky makes contact on is the amount of distance that the jack will then travel. So if he's got 2 feet of weight and makes contact with that shot bowl, the jack will then move 2 feet.
Goes away from us using his forehand.
Not far away.
Yeah, not a bad looking bowl.
Not far away. Stasinowsky, what a shot.
Oh, gave it a shave.
Just needed
I
it.
tell you what.
That was probably the difference, mate. As you said, just shaved the bowl. If he got a little bit more solid, would have moved the jack just far enough. A brilliant effort.
Machin's the player that now he's going to come our side. He's going to come backhand side by the way he's lined up. And that's exactly how he does.
Out in a wide line. They haven't really come back from there, but look, if he's got the weight to get past, he'll end up in a good spot.
Once again, it's probably not a wasted bowl, just in case, but I don't think Staz is going to do anything with a great deal of force. So that back bowl won't come into play, you wouldn't think. But anyway, he goes the forehand again. Once again, weight looks good, Isaac. The weight looks good. How's his line? It's coming around beautifully, and oh, goodness gracious me.
That is, I think, pretty stiff. I don't think he could have played that much better. I mean, he turns a little more and gets more of the jack, or he hangs a little more and gets less of the jack and sits his own bowl. Probably flops in for shot. It's a cracking effort. Have to think.
David comes down and has a bit of a look. He's asked the marker what his thoughts are as a bit of a guide. He's gone down a few steps to see what he'd like to do and decides, right, well, I reckon I've got one, so I'll just throw that out, and that looks like Chook Hazlett's bowl on a normal Saturday.
He didn't really have a whole lot of option there, to be honest, Dave, outside of just dead drawing it. I mean, he was a little bit quick and halves the jack one way or another. He could drop a 1 or a 2. So
you get damned if you do and damned if you don't type situation.
That's it.
He gets the one shot, one and run. And just repeating, I'm sorry, I should have written down the umpire's name. He's doing a good job. What's his name again?
Chris Jackson.
Chris Jackson. Big cheerio to all the umpires, or all the markers. Got to get that right. All the markers throughout the week, not just today, but you mentioned there's a lot of clubs have organised volunteer markers. Absolutely fantastic. For those people watching, we'll try and give you an update on the pairs that are being played as well. But unfortunately, the scoreboards haven't been updated. I can tell you the game that involves the two Bullaroo boys. The score is 10-5, which is all very well and good, but I don't know who's 10 and who's on 5 because we haven't been keeping an eye on it. But once again, a lovely bowl from Staz. Hopefully you're enjoying the coverage. Bowls SA and Spacequake Sports. They're doing a great job with the live streaming. We thank the tech guys and the 3 cameramen. They're doing a great job, Isaac.
They certainly are. As is Dave Machin. What a shot.
Nice bowl.
First one just pokes passing through. It's going to be in a fantastic home as this end progresses. The second one followed up perfectly.
Good crowd here, Isaac.
Certainly is, mate. Yeah, Monday of Men's Country Carnival finals. I mean, plenty of people still in Adelaide coming to watch. Stasinowsky a little stiff, not to get a better result. But no doubt there'll be more people coming in as this day progresses, Chook, with many coming out, and no doubt we'll be putting some bowls down in practice for the week ahead.
Now, we were talking about the social side of things, and we mentioned Cooper's 3.5, which is a bit of a favourite of mine, Isaac. But just give you an update on Jenke, who's going to be playing in the grand final. He's won the semi-final. His flavour of choice is a blue Powerade, Isaac. Jenke's come out with a blue Powerade to refresh himself leading up to the grand final. What time does the grand final get played, mate? Is it straight after the semi, or how does it work, mate?
Well, it depends how much longer we have in this game. 10:50 now, probably not getting out of this game until 11:15, 11:30, so it'll probably be lunch after this, and then the final will start.
Oh, great bowl.
Stasinowsky wasn't going to miss that again.
Have you bowled against these two before, Isaac? Have you come up against them personally?
No, not really, mate.
No.
I'm probably unofficially in maybe a casual setting, but
obviously being Country Carnival and you playing in the city, it's a bit different. But
correct.
One thing I've been mentioned via a text message to my personal number. Is a lovely bowl, but Stas is still holding one. Is what is the Country Carnival areas? Because Mount Barker, some people would think, well, is that country? How does it work? How does Country Carnival work? And is it all based on regions? And how does it all work?
Yeah, it's a good question. Stasinowski's second one falls short, so collect one, get us back to all square. So yeah, Chook, you're right, mate. It does work off regions. Essentially, if your club is associated to a country association, or I guess the other way to put it, mate, is if you're not connected to Metro Bowls, then you would be eligible to enter this event. So it goes essentially from south of McLaren Vale, and then I guess east of Tranmere, I would say, which would be the city. So Uradler would probably be the closest one. So yeah, east of Uradler, and then north of Gawler, essentially. North Gawler and Two Wells. And anything outside of that is a country region and eligible to play in the Country Carnival.
Now, I'm getting a few text messages from guys. G'day, Daryl Johnson, who's over at Streaky. He wants to know the pair score of the Streaky boys. I can tell you, Daryl, that once again, we haven't really got an update as such, apart from the fact that we know the score is 10-1, but we're only guessing who's on 10 and who's on 1. So we'll try and find out.
I reckon the Streaky boys are 10, mate.
Yep. I reckon they are as well, but I didn't want to assume that. And I actually think the Bullaroo guys are 10-5 up on the other one. But once again, that's not confirmed. We're not getting updates from the pairs from anyone, so we might investigate that a bit closer. So a lovely bowl from Stas. It might even be a resting toucher, I think. Try and get an update on the pair scores for you shortly, but we do think that it's Bullaroo and Streaky winning their semis at the moment. As the Hellball misses, he's still got another couple up his sleeve, Machin. Stas comes around again. His last bowl was picture perfect. Comes on the forehand. It's coming around nicely again. It'll add to his tally. He's holding 2. Forehand with normal weight, not a hell ball. It's going to come around. Looks a little wide from here, Isaac, but to be around the mark. One ball left each.
Be interesting what Dave opts to go with here for his fourth.
I was just going to say, what would you do, Isaac? If you were in his shoes in this situation, you're probably down a couple, I would think.
I'd probably back myself to play the weighted shot, so that's probably what I would opt for. But again,
are you a hell ball lover? Do you love the hell ball, Isaac?
Yeah, I do enjoy it. It's rather fun. Cold drawing shots is fun, but sometimes
a little bit of extra weight on this one. I wouldn't call it a hell ball, but it's certainly got more juice on it.
Needs to hang on.
Got rid of one.
Yeah, it was 2 down, so you take that. I think probably maybe the order was a little bit around the wrong way for me.
Yep.
Just maybe could have drawn the second and then had 2 cracks, or just take 3 cracks at it.
Yep.
It's hard to go draw, drive, you know.
You get into a mindset, I guess, and it's hard to change it to a certain extent.
That's it.
Is that the take-home message?
Well, I think the take-home message is probably try and learn what you can from the bowl you've just played. So if you opt for if you want to go for 3 drives, go for 3 drives and get better with each one. Or if you're going to try and draw, then draw again and learn what you can from the first attempt. Once you go back and forth, you sort of, you're not giving yourself the opportunity. If you miss, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to learn from it. You've got to go investigate. And even, I guess Dave, if we're being hypercritical here, Chucky, he had a drive on his forehand, then tried to draw, and then had a drive on his backhand.
Yep.
So, just little things like that.
Isaac, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, a couple of personal ones. How old are you, Isaac?
28.
Right, you're 28 years of age. You're representing the state. What sort of practice regime do you do? Do you like playing with pairs and fours and get as many bowls in your hand as you possibly can with team events, etc., or do you train on your own, or do you do a mixture of both?
Yeah, it's a reasonable question. I'm a big fan of practicing on my own. I think time is probably the biggest one for me. Like, I can only really afford that sort of 30, 35 minutes to practice. So I'm a big fan of 3 to 4 practices a week at 30 minutes each. In and out, just get the bowl in the hand, throw a couple down, try and hit the same line every time.
And with that in mind, Isaac, is it a situation where it doesn't matter when you do your training? So, for example, conditions are going to be different at 7:30 under lights compared to 4:30 in an afternoon. Do you chop and change deliberately, or do you think bowls in the hands whenever you can is the answer? Is it climatically a good idea to make sure you do all the different things at different times?
I think if you're playing Friday night games or night games enough, then it's probably worthwhile practicing that. I think I probably only play maybe 2 or 3 a year, so it's probably not that big on my agenda. It probably doesn't really suit the lifestyle. I'm normally asleep by 7:30.
Yep.
8 o'clock chook, so it's not. Practicing at that time for me doesn't work. But the thing is, like anything, you look at how the cricket, the professional cricketers train. If they're coming into a T20 match, then they're typically played through twilight, so they practice more often in that twilight period, and that's they don't shy away from saying how difficult it is to bat in that period. So it's important that you practice that way, practice how you're going to play.
And what about indoors or under a roof?
Yeah,
is that a different scenario again? Once again, these questions I'm asking is because there's probably a lot of people that don't play much bowls. So it's certainly interesting to me because I don't play that much anymore. It's always nice to hear from other people what they like and what they dislike and how they do things. So what about under a roof?
Yeah, look, for me it doesn't really change much. Under a roof, you're still wind affected. So, the speed is the speed and you've got to find that and get used to it. There's no walls or anything to stop the wind. So it's just like practicing here at Marion in the wind. I guess practicing indoor, if you had that facility, then for sure. But South Australia, we've only got the one in Wallaroo, which is a little bit far away for me to make it on a week-to-week after work basis.
Yep, bit difficult. I'm pretty confident that Bullaroo in the pairs are 10-6 up. Of course, Keller and Badnock are the two players involved there, currently 10-6 up in their game. And I'm not sure what as 2 goes to Stazza. He now goes to a 17-14 lead. In the other pairs game, they haven't updated the scoreboard, but I can tell you, Isaac, that Streaky, the Streaky boys, Benny and Wrigley, they just got a 4, but they didn't put it on the scoreboard. So if they update the scoreboard shortly, I'll be able to tell you who's who. But Streaky just got a 4, I can tell you that. Stazza bowls a beautiful one down on his forehand. The marker was just about to flick the chalk on, but it just missed, just shaved it, almost shaved it.
Staz had 3 really commanding ends here as well, Chook. Like, hasn't had many, if any, bowls outside of a foot and a half. Probably a little bit stiff, only to come away with 2 1s and a 2. Certainly talks to the standard of this game.
Yep, absolutely.
What it's been.
Just noticed also that Machin's on probably after every 2 ends or so, just wiping the sweat out of his eyes. So we're in a beautiful position here. It's nice and shady, but he's lifting his sunglasses up, getting his shirt and wiping his eyes. So the heat certainly at 11 o'clock in the morning, the heat's on in more ways than one. It's a beautiful setup here, Isaac. Did you set this tent up? Bowls SA 10? It's a beautiful tent.
Yeah, mate.
Yep.
Nice and early.
Yep, very good.
Here at 6:50 to get this place
Did you
getting
really?
going. Yeah.
Gee whiz, no wonder you go to bed at 7:30. Just a little bit short there from Machin. Now, Staz will have a bit of a look. He says, right, well, I'm not sure whether I'll go forehand or backhand. He will go forehand, and if he goes slightly wide, he can promote his own.
See, it pokes underneath. He draws the back door. He's around, gets a turn, as you said,
There
Chook.
it is. Lovely work. Great camera work by Spacequake. Just having a look at the bowl, nice and close there. You can see that he's going to be using the forehand, Isaac. A little bit of heat on this one. Let's see if he can cause a bit of trouble down the other end with that little bit of heat. He's knocked out his own. Unlucky.
Yeah, I don't know if the weight was the play there, to be honest. His angles weren't great. Even if he chipped the front shot bowl of Stasinowsky's out, he still didn't really have a whole lot on. He would have gone back to the draw anyway. Probably would have been better off, I think, just trying to give themselves 2 cracks at trying to draw it, like we spoke about before, Chook. Play 1, try and learn from it, and then go better again with the second.
Staz has got 4, so this could be the game. Machin, who's been very, very good. It's been a great game. He wasn't happy with his last bowl, as you mentioned, Isaac. And now the pressure's on.
So now he's really... I think he's drawing for game here. I mean, look, he only has to get 1 bowl. If it goes with weight, he only has to get 1 bowl out. He's still in it.
He's going the backhand. So he's changed hands from the ones that he's released earlier. It's draw weight.
Reasonable track.
Yeah, all about his line. I reckon the weight is pretty good.
Doesn't need the shot, but needs to cut it back. It's turning away. Looks to be 4.
Looks like they're shaking hands. Will they do a measure? for the fourth. They just have a look. They stand next to the kitty. They have a bit of a look. One gets kicked away. Two gets kicked away. Three gets kicked away. And for the win of the semi-final, it's a handshake. That's it.
There we go.
Stas ends up with a 4. 21-14 is the score, and a very high-quality semi-final.
Certainly was, Chook. Well, Dave was just starting to run away with it there for a little bit. Sort of as we came out of that interviewing period, he was up 13-7, but Stasinowsky really went through. He won 6 of the last 7 ends to take himself from 7 to 21, and that included 2 4s.
Yep. It'll be Murray Bridge versus Berry. It'll be Stasinowsky versus Jenke as Chris Jackson, the marker, walks down the other end.
That's it.
Well done to the markers throughout the... we didn't mention the marker of the other singles game. I'm not sure whether you knew who it was, Isaac. I'm sure you probably do.
We didn't, but it was Jane Matthews.
There you go.
Hawthorn Bowling Club.
Yep.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to go chat to the players now, and look, it's just gone just after 11 here in Adelaide. So I think we'll chat to the players, see if they want to play right away or if they want to have lunch. So we'll either catch you on a stream in about 15 to 20 minutes or catch you on a stream in about 45 to 50. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back with you shortly with this men's singles final. Andrew Stasinowsky versus Garen Jenke.